ഇന്നത്തെ സെഷന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ വിൽ ബി ഗോയിങ് ഇൻ ലൈറ്റ്നിങ് സ്പീഡ് ബിക്കോസ് ഐ ഹാവ് ലോട്ട്സ് ആൻഡ് ലോട്ട്സ് ഓഫ് തിങ്സ് ടു ടെൽ യു. ഇത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേറെ ഒരു സ്ഥലത്തും ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സെഷൻ കിട്ടില്ല. ലൈക്ക് ഐ ഹാവ് ബീൻ ത്രൂ ദിസ് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി ഫോർ ലോങ് ആൻഡ് ഒരു ആസ്പിറന്റ് ആയിട്ട് തുടങ്ങി ഇന്നൊരു ടീച്ചറായിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്ന ഈ ഒരു സമയത്തിനിടയ്ക്ക് ഐ ഹാവ് ബീൻ ത്രൂ ലോട്ട്സ് ആൻഡ് ലോട്ട്സ് ഓഫ് ലെക്ചേഴ്സ്. ലാഗ് ഇല്ലാതെ നമുക്കൊരു ക്ലാസ് കിട്ടാൻ ഭയങ്കര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. ഒരു കാര്യത്തിന് തന്നെ കുറേ സമയം ഇരുന്ന് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. ഫൈനലി നമുക്കും ബോറടിക്കും, എന്നാ ടോപ്പിക്ക് നീങ്ങത്തില്ല. അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സെഷൻ ആയിരിക്കില്ല, അത് ഞാൻ അഷ്യൂർ ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ടക്ക് 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 എന്ന് ഒരു ഇതിന് അടുത്തതിലേക്ക് പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. സോ ബി വെരി അറ്റൻറ്റീവ്, otherwise like you will miss things. So I have like hundreds and 200s of topics to tell in just one and a half hour, maybe ഒരു maximum ഒരു 10-15. അതിനു മുമ്പ് we'll wind up. Whatever topics that I have included in this particular session, these particular things are gonna come in the exam because വളരെ സെലക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ അതർവൈസ് എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത് വെച്ചെങ്കിൽ you will have to go through ലൈക്ക് നമ്മൾ നോർമലി കാണുന്ന മന്ത്ലി മാഗസിൻസിന്റെ ഇയർലി കമ്പൈലേഷൻസ്. അതിൽ 100 pages 150 പേജസിന്റെ ഡോക്സ് ആണ്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അത് വായിച്ചാൽ തന്നെ മേ ബി ഒരു 3-4 ദിവസം കൊണ്ടാണ് നിങ്ങൾ അത് വായിച്ചു തീർക്കുക. അതിൽ തന്നെ ലൈക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ളതിനേക്കാളും കൂടുതൽ അൺവാണ്ടഡ് തിങ്സ് ആയിരിക്കും ഇൻക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവുക. അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് പറയുന്ന ടോപ്പിക്കുകളിൽ യു നീഡ് നോട്ട് റെഫർ എനി അതർ സോഴ്സസ് ഫോർ ദാറ്റ് പർട്ടിക്കുലർ കണ്ടന്റ് because whatever I am including in the slides is only relevant for you. Like for example, if they are talking about one particular satellite, for example Nisar satellite, ISRO നാസയും ചേർന്നിട്ട് like തയ്യാറാക്കിയ Nisar satellite, like there are hundreds of technical details to be discussed, and these kind of things will be discussed in that particular topic that you are going to read in the monthly magazine. അതുപോലെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ? ഒരിക്കലും ആവശ്യമില്ല. ഈ നിസാർ സാറ്റലൈറ്റിനെ കുറിച്ച് ബേസിക്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള വളരെ അത്യാവശ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ മാത്രമേ UPSC ചോദിക്കുള്ളൂ. അത് മാത്രമേ ഐ ഹാവ് ഇൻക്ലൂഡഡ് ഇൻ ദിസ് തിങ്. സോ ബി വെരി അറ്റൻറ്റീവ്. വി ആർ സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ്. ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ, കുറച്ച് സമയം. ലെറ്റ്സ് മൂവ്. ഫസ്റ്റ് തിങ്, ഓക്കെ, സൈമ. ഓക്കെ, Google's DeepMind. DeepMind is an institution which is part of Google, which is like doing artificial intelligence research. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, artificial intelligence research. So what is the like specialty of SIMA is that it will be helping you in playing games. You know, while you play games, like you may need to jump, you may need to fire, you may need to kill some person, you may need to hide. For that, in ordinary, like you just follow my mouse pointer, okay? In ordinary games in the previous years, in the old age period, like you need to know the codes. Okay, hashtag so and so k LGK for jump, hashtag LPGK for hiding, like that. But it was very difficult. But now what is the thing? You need not like remember the codes. You just command them. You can speak, okay, jump. Then this particular artificial agent, AI agent called SIMA, will understand that okay, you meant to jump. Okay, then that particular character will jump. So it will be helping you in doing games like effortlessly. So it understand your everyday life's command. If you type jump, it will understand that it is for jumping. Otherwise you can tell that okay, jump. So, and whatever you are teaching them, whatever thing that you are telling while you are playing that particular game, this particular agent SIMA will be remembering that particular thing, and that will be used as a learning for it, so that it will be helping in other people playing the same game. So this is Google DeepMind SIMA. Next news is related to diabetes. So India is known as the diabetic capital of the world. Why? India is having, just follow my mouse pointer, this particular table is 2 years before. This was an old statistic. At present India is having 10 crore people who are diabetic. These statistics are very important. This will be helping you immensely in solving statements. So India is having at present 17% of all the diabetic patients in the world. Even China is having more, at least 4 to 5 crore more patients than India, but still India is known as the diabetic capital. Why? Because India is having the potential to overcome China in the very near future. So that's the thing, that's why it was in news. So this is the statistics of diabetic countries. First China, second India, then Pakistan, USA, Indonesia. Just remember these statistics, it will be handy in your exam. So there is one test which was in news. Okay, hemoglobin A1C. You will be asked a question. Hemoglobin A1C test was in news related to what? It is related to diabetics test. So another, like apart from this 10.13 crore people who are diabetic, another 13 crore people are pre-diabetic. Then what is known as pre-diabetic? Pre-diabetics are the persons who are having the potential to be diabetic in future. Next. So what is this diabetics? You can see that these white colored particles in the blood vessels, these are known as glucose. This is a normal person's glucose level in the blood vessel. But if you see a diabetic person's blood vessel is having lots of these glucose molecules. So it is showing an increased presence of glucose in blood. This is leading to diabetes. There are two kinds of diabetics: diabetics type 1 and diabetics type 2. Type 1 diabetics is related to the pancreas, which is not producing insulin. We know that insulin is the hormone which is secreted by pancreas, which will be controlling blood sugar level or glucose level in the blood. But because of type 1 diabetics, pancreas will not be producing insulin. Second, type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes means insulin will be secreted by pancreas, but it will not be working. It is leading to non-function of the insulin. So that will lead to glucose remaining in the bloodstream instead of being absorbed by the cells. If insulin was working properly, these glucose will be used by the body for energy. Okay, whatever food we are eating, body is converting the glucose in that to energy. But if the insulin is not working, glucose will be remaining in the blood. Type 1 diabetics, pancreas not producing insulin. Type 2 diabetics, pancreas producing insulin but not working. Next news is related to dengue vaccine. So dengue, related to dengue vaccine, 2-3 things you need to know. This new vaccine is produced by Indian Immunologics Limited. In options in the exam, they will be asking you to ask produced by Russia. No, it is produced by an Indian company known as Indian Immunologics Limited, which is a subsidiary of National Dairy Development Board. Now, it is not easy to identify in the exam hall. Like you won't be thinking, you won't be guessing even that National Dairy Development Board producing a vaccine. No, it is the reality. National Dairy Development Board, it is having a subsidiary called Indian Immunologics Limited that is producing the dengue vaccine. But this is a vaccine, not a drug. A drug or a tablet means what? Once you got that disease, the drug or like that particular tablet will be healing you from that particular disease. But vaccine means it's a preventive method to prevent that particular disease from infecting you. At present, there is no drug or specific treatment for dengue. Okay, only you can take rest and the body automatically heals it. Otherwise, there is no drug or treatment, but there is vaccine. Very, very important. Remember that. Otherwise, you will be feeling confusion in exam hall. So, next, about dengue. Why I have attached these virus figures just to make you remember that dengue is caused by a virus, and this virus is carried to other people by a vector known as mosquito, Aedes aegypti mosquito. Okay, when we study malaria, we'll come to know that malaria will be spread by a female mosquito known as Anopheles, female Anopheles mosquito. But chikungunya, dengue, etc. are spread by Aedes aegypti mosquito. So the thing that is spread by Aedes aegypti mosquito is a virus called dengue virus. Okay, fine. Next news is related to Agniban Sorted. Agniban is a startup, a space-related startup in India. Sorted means its full form is like this: suborbital technology demonstrated. Now, what is this suborbital technology demonstrated? What's the difference between orbit and suborbit? First, see that. An orbital vehicle, it's a vehicle designed for orbiting the Earth. Okay, that means, for example, a satellite. It is traveling at a speed of 28,000 km per hour. Okay, what is this suborbital vehicle? A suborbital vehicle is a vehicle which will not be going to the space, but just around 100 plus kilometer from the surface of there. This is the surface of there. You can see that a normal aeroplane is flying at a height of less than 16 kilometer. Okay, now up to 80 kilometer you have stratosphere. Just above the stratosphere, a vehicle called suborbital vehicle like this will go spend some time there, then again fall to Earth. This is known as suborbital vehicle. Now, a suborbital vehicle will be traveling at a speed of just 6,000 kilometers. Very, very important. Remember all these things. Okay, orbital vehicle which has to orbit across the orbit around there, 28,000 kilometers per hour. Suborbital vehicle 6,000 kilometers per hour, and normal aeroplane just less than 1,000 kilometers. That is 925 kilometers per hour. So this is a particular vehicle, just like PSLV, GSLV, etc. This particular vehicle called Agniban suborbital technology demonstrator vehicle. This is developed by a private startup called Agnikul Cosmos. Now, this is the Agniban vehicle. This is just like the PSLV and JSLV, but it is having many peculiarities. First of all, it is made by a space startup called Agnikul, and the other specialties is that it is launched from the first private launch pad. We know that normal PSLV, GSLV, etc. will be launched from the government or ISRO's like launch pad in Sriharikota, but now they have created their own private launch pad in Sriharikota for launching this thing. Then it is the first semi-evergreen, I mean, not semi-evergreen, semi-cryogenic engine. Semi-cryogenic engine like for powering this rocket. You know that we have heard about cryogenic engine, which will be using like liquid hydrogen, etc. at minus 250 degrees Celsius, etc., which we are using in GSLV's upper stage, etc. But this is not cryogenic. This is semi-cryogenic engine, right? Then second important feature is that its fuel is liquid oxygen and kerosene combination. This is the first time India is using liquid oxygen kerosene. We know that kerosene is cheap. So if you are able to combine liquid oxygen and kerosene, that means the launch vehicle cost will be less. Then third important thing is that the space startup Agnikul has made a 3D printed engine. This engine is made by 3D printer. So this is also an important feature you have to remember. Now next, related to this Agnikul Cosmos. It's a space startup founded in 2017. Actually, we have an agency called InSpace. Follow my mouse pointer. InSpace is an agency under ISRO for promoting private space players. So Cosmos became, or Agnikul Cosmos became the first space private space startup to have a sign with InSpace for generating space-related vehicles and machineries. Now we had a mission called Mission Praram. What was this? It was for launching the launch vehicle built by a private company. Remember? Fine. Next important news is related to, one more information regarding this thing. Agnikul. This Agnikul's rocket, we told about Agniban. This is the second privately developed rocket in India. Very important. Then what was the first? I think you all remember this thing. Vikram S. Like for the last prelims, we have studied this. Vikram S, India's first privately developed rocket. Agnikul is the second privately developed rocket. Agnikul's Agniban, which we have discussed now, this is the second privately developed rocket. So it was developed by Agnikul space startup Vikram S, which is the first privately launched vehicle. It was built by a private startup called Skyroot Aerospace Limited. Right. Then, so this is about InSpace. InSpace is for like promoting the participation of private players in Indian space arena. Next news is related to Devin. Devin is the world's first artificial intelligence software engineer. Like when they are asking such questions in UPSC, you can deduce the answer from the options itself. How? When they say that it is a first software engineer, now you have to think, what does a software engineer do? Software engineer will write codes, create applications, etc. So this will be now done by the AI software called Devin. What will be the impact in future? There won't be jobs for software engineers. Okay, fine. Next news is that new digital arrest cyber fraud. You will be asked a question like this. Digital arrest cyber fraud is news. It is related to what? Or there will be three statements related to this. So it is a new cyber fraud like phishing, wishing, etc. What they are doing is they will be calling you. Like we are calling from enforcement department, we are calling from CBI, etc. So fraudsters will be pretending to be law enforcement officials. They will tell you that your Aadhaar card, your SIM, your bank account, etc. are found to be used for criminal activities. Now we'll be afraid. Like we'll tell that actually we don't know like what we have to do now. Then they'll ask that, okay, we'll be calling you in a video call and you have to answer all the questions. Now they'll be recording all these things and they'll start extorting money from you. This is known as digital arrest cyber fraud. They'll tell you that if you are not willing to cooperate with us, they will arrest you. This is known as digital arrest cyber fraud for extorting money. Now, next news is related to arms import. You have to understand one thing, that from 2018 to 2022, India remained the topmost arms importer in the world according to SIPRI report. SIPRI means Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. They are telling that you just remember the first 5 countries. Okay, India 11%, then Saudi Arabia, then Qatar. You know, Qatar is just a small island country. Okay, like it is in the 3rd place. Like if you are not studying it here, because we know that Qatar is a very small country, even then it is able to like import, it is able to remain at the 3rd position in the arms race, right? Fourth is Australia and fifth is China. So remember all these countries, first 5 countries, right? So then who, like, if we are the arms importers, top arm importers, then who are the arms exporters? Russia, France, US. These are the top 3 arms exporters. From these countries, we are importing arms, right? Right. Now, next news is related to an aircraft or flight, a fighter jet crash. Okay, we know that our Tejas aircraft, during an exercise in Jaisalmer, it got crash landed. So there is a possibility of asking question from Tejas. So we need not study about the old model of Tejas, that is Tejas MK1, but they will be asking you about this. This is Tejas MK2. This is the latest Tejas air fighter jet. It's a fighter jet. It is having, just see, one crew, only one fighter pilot inside this. What are the features? Like, without any load, without any cargo, it will be having its own weight of, say, 17,500 kilogram. It can carry, what is this carrier? What is the cargo attached to it? One missile, second missile. These are missiles, right? So it can carry a payload or a warhead or a missiles for about 6,500 kilogram. So remember this thing, very important. It is a 75% indigenously built fighter jet. Okay, so it's an indigenous initiative. It will be flying at a speed of 1.8 Mach. 1 Mach means 1 Mach is the speed of sound. 1.8 Mach means above the speed of sound, that is supersonic speed. So it's a multi-role fighter jet. It can be used for intelligence gathering. It can be used for surveillance purposes, for enemy territory surveillance, for reconnaissance at the border area. Okay. And another feature is that, like, first of all, obviously, air defense is there, air-to-air defense. It can send missile to other countries or enemy aircraft. That is there. Intelligence gathering, we told. Then third feature is air interdiction. Now they will give in the statement that about air interdiction. So without knowing the meaning, you cannot answer. Air interdiction means going into the enemy territory and attacking them. So it is having that particular feature as well. Then maritime strike and reconnaissance mission. For example, like our oil carrying ship is moving through Red Sea. Now there are chances that Houthi rebels or any other insurgents will be attacking us. So we will be following that particular ship from above using this Tejas Mk2 fighter jet. Right? Right. So there was a program called Light Combat Aircraft Manufacturing Program. So Tejas was a fighter jet that was built under this for making indigenous fighter jet. Okay, this particular program, there can be question about this program. It began in 1983. The first flight of Tejas started in 2001. Then this particular program we initiated for replacing the MiG-21 fighter jet. Actually, this we have imported from other country. So it was getting old and its technology was getting obsolete. So to replace that fighter jet, we have created our own fighter jet under Light Combat Aircraft Program in 1983. Right? Right.